This is not my sermon topic this morning. I will put it in the beginning because I want it remind me about how I came out this lesson this morning today that I'm going to share with you. Because that day, I forgot which day. I think it's Wednesday or Thursday. I was walking down from Loud Boys to Boys Dome, and then I get hit by rain. I'm thinking I'm going down now. I need to prepare my sermon because I don't have any time anymore. So when I reach Boys Dome, I feel like I didn't turn on my fan yet, and then I feel cold. And then I'm looking for Dylan at that time because I want to give him food. Oh, I couldn't find him. Where is he? Wait, this guy, what he's doing? And my thought is that I need to look for him. And then somehow, because before on the way back from the LVM to Lal Boys, I hit by the rain, and I feel like my body is very cold. I feel uncomfortable that time. And then I start to think, hey, how am I going to prepare my sermon if I feel uncomfortable and I feel like I don't think I can learn things, especially when I read Bible when I'm in this condition. Somehow, when I realized that I hit by the rain, and then I start to think about rain. Hey, it's been raining these 2 days, and I'm thinking, how rain form? Do you know how rain form? How rain fall down from the sky? Next slide, Kai. I'm gonna maybe some of you don't know yet. I'm gonna tell you how actually rain form. Um, this is the cycle of the rain. This is a lake. Maybe it can be a sea. Yeah. How rain form? First, there's a hot sun. When there's a water, and then the hot sun, the hot sun will start to evaporate the water, and then that evaporation will lead to make what cloud on the sky. Okay. And then after evaporation happened and then cloud was formed, it's not rain yet. It wait until it's heavy. What happened is that when because the heat of the sun still heating up the water and then the evaporation keep happening, all of the small particle of the water start to gather from big to big become from small to become bigger and bigger, and then you see the white cloud will become dark cloud like that. And then from dark cloud, we call it condensation. It starts to condense, and then where the precipitation happen. Precipitation is I put it here is the definition of precipitation is any liquid or frozen water that forms in the atmosphere and fall back to the earth. So that's how we sit there. That's how we have rain. So the process keep repeating by itself. So from rain, what's the thing? What's the good thing that happen when there's rain? When I Google search, there's a lot of things that happen after rain. It says here, rain is for to fill the river and lake. And then it continue that it says like it can lead to a life to flourish. It can turn desert into oasis. Can you imagine that desert without any plants, without any living things there? When there's a rain, it can turn it into oasis, meaning there will be plant, there will be maybe a small pond, fish, I don't know. And then yeah, that's how rain benefit. I mean, we can get the benefit from rain when rain comes. And in the Bible, what the Bible says about rain? What do you think? What does Bible says about rain? In the Bible, I think we all of us heard about showers of blessing, right? a song of showers of blessing, meaning that rain is a blessing. Yeah, it's true. It mentioned in Bible, rain is referred to us a blessing after drought. Yeah, after drought. It's a symbol of God's love. So, next slide. Open our Bible in Joel chapter 2, verse 23. I would like few people to read for me. And Leviticus chapter 26, verse 4. On Joel chapter 2, verse 23, I would like Young Min to read. Joel chapter 2, verse 23. Young Min, can you read?
Declare the people of God, rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given you the offspring. Because he is faithful, he sends you abundant rain, both ox and free range.
Okay. Is that NIV? Oh, NIV. I read here in KJV. Be glad then, you children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God. For he had given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain and the latter rain in the first month. Here is obviously in this Bible text is mentioned that when there's rain, God asks us to rejoice because it's a blessing for us. You change the word rain inside there to blessing. And we read again, he said, for he had given you the former blessing, and he will cause to come down for you the blessing again. And then I want to ask you to next Bible verse, read in Leviticus chapter 26, verse 4. Ask Paul to read. He keep looking at me. Leviticus 24, verse 6. 20, 26, verse 4. Sorry.
26 verse 4.
Hmm.
Then I will give you rain in your season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit.
So from this verse we can see that when this rain, there will be what? There will be what, Paul? Huh? It says here, the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield the fruit. Meaning, after rain, there will be something new start to grow, start to happen. But then, when I'm thinking about this rain just now, and then until I read the goodness about rain, about how Bible describe about rain, how rain form, and then somehow it led me to this Bible verse where my sermon will be about today, this morning. Let us open our Bible in Genesis chapter 7, verse 4. Genesis 7, verse 4. Just now we heard that rain will give blessing, will give life, new life, it will give new hope for some in this earth. But then in this verse, Genesis 7, verse 4, it says here, for yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days, 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will destroy from the face of the earth. So why now, when we're talking about rain, it's supposed to be talking about blessing. But now when talking about rain, it says it will destroy anything on the face of the earth. Why? Well, how we can see the blessing, how we can see the goodness from this verse. We continue it to story about the Noah's Ark in Genesis chapter 7, verse 17 to 24. We open that together about the flood, about the big flood. Genesis chapter 7, verse 17 to 24. Okay, it says here, verse 17. Are we there? Okay, it says here, verse 17, and the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth. And verse 18, and the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went up the face of the waters. Verse 19, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heavens were covered. Verse 20, 15 cubits upward did the water prevail, and the mountains were covered. Verse 21, and all flesh died and moved upon the earth, both fowl and of cattle, and of beasts, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. Verse 22, all in whose nostril was the breath of life, all that was in the dry land died. And verse 23, and every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both men and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fall of the heaven. And they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. Verse 24 says, and the water prevailed upon the earth 150 days. When we read this text, when we read this story, wow, it mentioned every living creature in this world will be destroyed. What it mentioned again is now in verse 21, all flesh die that move upon the earth, both fowl and cattle, and of beasts and every creeping thing. And in verse 22, it says that all in whose nostril was the breath of life, all of that was in the dry land die, meaning that everyone who breathes with the nose will die. So when we read all of those things, when we see the details, wow, this rain can make big flood and will destroy everything. So can how we can think about a blessing when all of this destruction thing happen? We come back to Genesis chapter 6, verse 5 and 6 verse. How all of this thing happen? It says in Genesis chapter 6, verse 5, and God showed that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thought of his heart was only evil continually. Verse 6 is said, and it repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. This happened because of what? Because of us. What we do, what human being do that time, they are in a great wickedness. The thought of his heart was only evil. When we think about these two things, wickedness and thought of evil, what we can replace it with? I mean, maybe we think about something else that can replace with these two words, wickedness and evil. From where we get it? From sin. From sin come death. Meaning that if there's a wickedness, if there's a evil happening, there will be destruction. That is why this thing happened in the story when it's Noah's day. And then I want to continue to another story. Okay, in Luke chapter 12 verse 50, it says here, but I have about this is a story when Jesus come to this earth, and then all of us know that he come to this earth to die on the cross to save us. So this is what Jesus said before he died on the cross. He says here in Luke chapter 12 verse 50. It says, but I have a baptism to be baptized with, and now, and how am I strengthened till it to be accomplished? Interestingly, here Jesus say about baptism. When we go back and read Luke chapter 3, verse 21, Jesus already baptized at that time. Why he mentioned baptism at this time? And this verse, before I continue, I'm going to explain it. The word strengthened here can be replaced with distress or compel. In Malay, we call it tertekan, like we feel the pressure. But then Jesus said is here, feel it to be accomplished. He feel that this distress, but then he still want to accomplish it. And then the word baptism here is not really talking about baptism. What is really talking about? You know that baptism is something that including water, that involve water. I mean the physical baptism, not the Holy Spirit baptism. The physical baptism is include water. And then um, when you do the physical baptism, you need to submerge yourself in water. And then in this context, in this Bible verse, it says here, in this verse, Jesus is talking about being submerged in water of, or I would like to replace that water to flood of suffering and sin. Meaning that when I read this Bible text, I'm thinking like, wow, I never noticed about this. Actually, there's a second flood coming, but we don't know about it because God promised for us that there will no flood that will come and destroy this world. That's why we never think about the second flood is coming. That second flood is this verse when where Jesus actually saw that flood coming because we are in a great sin because of the sin. Then there should be a destruction come after that. But then what God do is that He submerged Himself in that flood to save us. So, meaning that from this Bible verse, we learn that um, God. Before that, from this Bible verse, we see two different things in this story. The second flood and compared to the first flood. The first flood, the wicked people die, and the righteous people live. But this second story of flood, the righteous people die, but then the wicked people live. When I start to think something like that, wow, it's so amazing because yeah, we know that God come to this world, come to this earth to save us, die on the cross, so that we have everlasting life. But when I start to imagine it in this way, it says as we are the wicked, we're supposed to die with the second flood, but instead God will go and submerge himself in the flood so that he died and he let us to survive and live. It made me remind about one story about my grandfather, the one that sick now. Last time, I'm not really close with him. Um, I think I was like about six or 5 years old. My mom bring us to another village because the village is not near from our village. Or the story is like this: my mom, when he married with my father, he followed my father to join my father's family. So she moved there. So I never really close with my mother's family member, especially this my grandfather. And then one time my mom asked us to go and spend time with our grandfather there lah, because we never know about we have another family there. Because when I 6 years old, I feel like, oh, this is our family. We have another family there. And then he says, yeah, what's wrong with you? Let's go and come and see and meet who is your another sibling or another uncle there and your grandfather especially. And then we went there and we met him, and I saw him. He was because he's a farmer, he don't wear any shirt that time. His body was very tough lah. You can see the six pack, and I can see his face very furious. He feels like he want to eat someone or something. And then um, when the first time I met him, I was like, oh, this is my grandfather. Because I never had a grandfather. I have a grandfather from my father's side, but then he died. I never had a chance to meet him. But then, oh, at least I have a chance to meet my grandfather from my mother's side. When I saw him, like, oh, this is my grandfather. Yeah, feels unusual. I mean, feels awkward because I don't know how to greet him, and he was so serious when he saw me. And then my mom said, actually, he's happy because his neighbor saw us since we born. So that was the first time we saw him, and then he saw us also. He met us, and then and the house there's a rambutan tree. There's a lot of rambutan tree. I like to visit. Okay, before we visit my grandfather's house, I don't really like to go and then because it's like because in our village we have electricity. In the village they don't have electricity. They need to use generator. In daytime we cannot watch TV. I feel like yeah, why we should go here like and like. But then because of there's a lot of rambutan tree in the house, I really like rambutan that time. So next time when my mom bring us there to the village every year at least one time. So I was okay. At least there's rambutan there. Yeah. And my mom know that every fruit season, durian season, rambutan season, he will bring us there because there are a lot of fruits they like to plant and a lot of fruits. And then I want to eat rambutan. They haven't harvest it lah, and the rambutan is ripe already. And then my grandfather like look at me. If you want to eat, you go and climb yourself. Oh, okay. And then it was very high. At that time, I still can climb. I climbed the rambutan. I thought it's easy because the branches are very big and not that very high enough. But then the problem is there's a lot of ants. Oh, when I climb it, I able to grab some of it because the ants will start to climb and start to bite here and there. I feel cannot tahan already. I mean like this one cannot tahan, not really tahan. And then suddenly I stepped on the wrong branches and then I fell. And then my grandfather saw me. And I able to get few rambutan and then my grandfather saw me. He said to me, Kenny, after this, you will never climb rambutan again. Please don't. I promise you, you will never climb rambutan again. If you saw the rambutan on the tree, don't try to get it. He said to me. And then I'm not that happy lah because I able to eat few only, and then I didn't expect him to go and help me. And then what I did, I just go and play in the river. When I come back from the river, I saw there's a lot of rambutan. And then like, hey, who take this rambutan? I thought my grandfather the one to help me. At first, I don't think he the one who will help me to go and climb it because they said it's impossible to climb that rambutan tree because a lot of ants. If possible, you need to clear it with maybe you put fire like to clear it lah, so that there's no rambutan that you can climb, and then maybe you can use you just cut one of the branch so that you can get it. I was like, oh, maybe impossible for them to help me to get the rambutan lah. And then when I saw a lot of rambutan, I didn't think who get it. I just go and eat it. I just eat it, and then I saw my grandfather there. He was I don't know what he's doing without his shirt. He's doing something, cleaning his body or something. And then I was thinking, hey, the rambutan is here. And then he's here and then he's cleaning his body. And suddenly, is that ants? And I saw, yeah, there's a lot of ants around him. He do it like this. Lah. And I was like, wow, did he just go and climb the rambutan just for me? And I was like, I never know about this because um, what I know is that I have that rambutan, it's okay already for me. But then when I saw it, when I realized it, it's like, wow, he never told me that he want to go and help me. But then he do it because my mom said, because he know that you like it. He never smile to you, my mom said, but then actually he's happy when we are around and he loves you. Okay, it makes me think of him again. Um, when I think about this story, I'm thinking about Jesus. He never told. He promised us in which verse? He promised us in Genesis 9 verse 11. It says here, "And I will establish my covenant with you." Oh, my handwriting is so bad. Okay. "And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh can be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall be any more be a flood to destroy the earth." Meaning here, this is a God promise, so that there's no flood. But he never mentioned that there will be another flood, meaning that there will be another, supposed to be there's another this destruction that come, that will destroy us because of our sin. But only God knows. He keep it by himself, and then what he do is that because he don't want us to perish, he don't want us to die. What he do is just he the one who go and submerge himself in that flood that we never know. So yeah, from what we have read just now about these two stories from the first flood and the second flood, it gives me somehow give me imagination how God really love us and He really keep the promise, meaning that He's the same from the starting until now. So before I end, I want to give you this one last Bible verse for you to read and ponder about today's sermon. It says here in Isaiah 45 verse 8, it says here, "Drop down, ye heavens from above, and let the sky pour down righteousness. Let the earth open, and let them bring forth salvation, and let the righteousness spring up together. I, the Lord, have created." Amen.